My name is Amy Ridela and I'm the livestock manager at Kualoa Ranch. I was raised around cattle, but my real influence was my grandpa. Every day after school, he would pick us up. We'd go home, I would watch cartoons. We would go to the pasture to fill the trough. He would walk to the top of the hill and call his cows, and we would just wait. We would just sit there looking at them for hours. Because he continued the tradition, he not only inspired me, but my cousin, who gave his life to raising his own herd, along with my uncle, who is one of the main large animal vets on Oahu. What I love most about my job, the place, the people, the culture. The culture, the history, the traditions of the job. Well, we're a team of 5. We'll come in the morning, move the herds to the new pastures. Rotate everybody, check their waters, make sure they're all okay. And then we'll continue our day with the workloads. If there's a broken pipe, we'll obviously address that first. But any kind of fencing that needs to be done, new projects, minerals, mowing, pasture management, it all plays a big role, and it changes day to day. We do a lot of our day-to-day work on ATVs. However, we do still use horses, not only to keep the tradition and everything, but it's a good skill to have. A horse can do a lot more than an ATV can do, especially dealing with cattle. So we practice low-stress animal handling techniques. So basically what that means is the person stresses out about it and the cattle don't. I plan out and sometimes take an hour to set up a pen or do certain things so that when they come through, it takes all about 10 seconds for them, but it took a lot of time and prep so that they wouldn't be stressed out about going where I want them to go. They can just worry about eating and growing and thriving ultimately. Kualoa's cattle operation consists of 2 cow-calf herds, which provide us with 2 production cycles per year. From those 2 herds, we keep majority of the calves for our KualoaGrown grass-fed beef market. The goal of our program is to provide the local community with a consistent and high-quality food source. As a 100% grass-fed beef program, we are totally dependent on our natural resources. Besides a mineral supplement, our cattle are not fed any outside feed. Therefore, we take special care of the land and the waterways. The land then provides for the cattle.
Tell the camera how many you have.
1,040.
Kualoa is a family-owned and operated working cattle ranch. Although I'm not related, I feel honored to be a part of this place and the Paniolo culture.
My name is Jason Morgan. I'm the Director of Experience and I'm a 7th generation steward of Kualoa Ranch. My ancestor Garrett P. Judd came here in 1828, was a physician, worked for the King of Hawaii, and was a farmer and a rancher here on Oahu. He brought in some of the first cattle in the late mid-1800s, but it was really his son Charles Hastings Judd, who was much more the rancher, farmer. He expanded a lot of our efforts in agriculture here at Kualoa. For Paniolo families here in Hawaii, it's a family affair, it's a community affair. It's one of those, parts of our heritage that we really need to hold on to. So I've got some really super cool images of my grandmother and my grandfather just behind me here in the middle of the valley, herding cattle, branding cattle, checking some of the young ones. My grandpa has his shirt off, my grandma is roping, so it's a really neat, kind of legacy. It's so important to not only pass on knowledge, but the experience of what it means to be a rancher. Ranching is a way that you take care of the land. It's integral to you know, Hawaii, and it's integral to Kualoa. Having my kids, you know, ride alongside me on horseback as we're driving the cattle out for branding, and, you know, being part of that community that looks after this land, I think is just an incredible, you know, it's a surreal thing, sitting there having, you know, ridden in that saddle myself when I was their age, and now they're doing it, and they're passing on, you know, that knowledge to themselves, which is pretty cool. Abraham Akau was our ranch foreman for 50 years. He was born and raised on Hawaii Island, started at Parker Ranch, and then came over to Oahu and started working for my grandfather, Franny Morgan. And he was a man of hard work. You know, he was so dedicated to this place, to ranching, to cattle, and to perpetuating that legacy. When I was growing up, I think we had 7 employees, and it was a lot of community that came out to help support ranching and farming and that Paniolo culture. And Abe was the one that was, you know, kind of living that and breathing that, and making sure that everybody, you know, took that with them, and contributed to the community and contributed to, you know, that legacy. It is not easy work. It's not glamorous work. We've got an incredible team that devotes their time and energy towards it. It's a meaningful pursuit, and it's part of our DNA. It's who we are.
I'm a placeholder in time. I get to take what those before me have worked so hard to build and continue to keep it alive and thriving until someone after me continues the tradition. I am only one of many people here in Hawaii that have this privilege to be a keeper of the land. I hope to grow the grass-fed beef program and pass the traditions along to my kids